What if the man you married was never the man you thought you knew? What if the love story everyone celebrated was actually an illusion? Tonight on Emotional Morning, we explore the story that TLC only hinted at, but never fully revealed. A story of manipulation disguised as devotion, faith used as pressure, and love slowly suffocated by secrets. Adnan Abdullah and Tigerlily Taylor were introduced to the world as another bold cross-cultural romance in the 90-Day Fiancé universe. Passionate, emotional, dramatic. But behind the glossy edits and carefully chosen scenes, a darker reality was unfolding, one filled with betrayal, humiliation, financial ruin, and emotional control. Secret girlfriends, a hidden gambling addiction, a crushing $250,000 debt, inhumane pressure to convert to Islam, and a marriage that became a battlefield. This isn't just another reality TV breakup. This is the story of how a woman lost her marriage, her peace, and eventually her place on television just to survive. When Adnan Abdullah and Tigerlily Taylor first appeared on 90 Day Fiancé, their relationship seemed perfect. Intense chemistry, cultural contrast, a romance that defied borders. To viewers, Adnan seemed confident and charming, while Tigerlily appeared deeply committed, willing to sacrifice comfort, familiarity, and even her own identity for love. Their journey looked like a modern fairy tale. But what the cameras didn't show was how unstable the relationship really was. From the start, friends and relatives quietly voiced their concerns. Adnan's anger, his need to control, his desire to be followed rather than understood. Tigerlily ignored the warnings, believing that love required time and compromise. Behind closed doors, simple arguments grew into standoffs. Adnan wanted loyalty but refused accountability. Tigerlily tried to protect their relationship, shutting out anyone who questioned him. What she didn't know was that Adnan was living two lives. Outwardly devoted, he secretly had multiple romantic encounters. Friends said he often went out to eat with other women, acting as if he had no obligations. The illusion of a happy couple was already cracking, but Tigerlily remained unaware. The couple that seemed perfect on TV was already struggling off-screen. Arguments became constant, trust eroded. Adnan dismissed concerns as jealousy or disrespect. This imbalance slowly changed their relationship. Love turned into dependence. Tigerlily tried to prove her value, while Adnan constantly changed the rules. The first problems weren't about cheating, they were about control. Small statements that seemed like suggestions became rules. Adnan doubted Tigerlily's choices, from what she wore to how she interacted with others. He called it guidance, but it grew into domination. Tigerlily believed she needed patience because of cultural differences, thinking compromise was part of love. But instead of easing, the strain increased. They fought constantly, not about big things, but about obedience. Adnan wanted unquestioned control, while Tigerlily wanted understanding. Every argument ended with Adnan asserting that he was in charge, leaving Tigerlily emotionally drained. Family involvement made it worse, reinforcing the idea that a wife must submit, not partner. She had to fight for independence while being labeled disrespectful for having an opinion. The cameras only caught fragments of this tension. What viewers saw as drama was actually emotional stress building daily. Tigerlily started changing. Quieter, more careful, constantly calculating her words to avoid conflict. The woman who once spoke freely now tried to keep the peace at the cost of her own voice. Adnan became increasingly distant, with private calls and messages telling her that she was insecure, theatrical, or ungrateful. Problems in the marriage became her fault. Trust was gone, love seemed conditional, and the facade of respect collapsed. Tigerlily tried to restore the marriage through honesty and counseling, unaware that Adnan was already living a separate life. Eventually, the truth became impossible to ignore. For months, Adnan acted loyal publicly and to Tigerlily, but secretly dated multiple women. This wasn't just online gossip. There were witnesses, sightings, and patterns. People saw him at restaurants, bars, and events with other women, acting without concern. Meanwhile, Tigerlily worked to fix the marriage. Each night out added to the deception. At first, Tigerlily noticed something was wrong. Late nights became normal. He answered calls privately and changed passwords. When confronted, Adnan got angry, accusing her of paranoia and jealousy, classic tactics to make her doubt herself. Friends' warnings were dismissed, claimed to be misunderstandings of culture or the relationship. Tigerlily felt alone, emotionally drained, doubting her own senses instead of his behavior. But slowly, proof kept piling up, pictures were secretly shared. People Tigerlily knew appeared in unexpected places. Stories started lining up too well to ignore. Adnan wasn't just cheating. He was living a life that required constant lies, manipulating feelings, and completely ignoring his marriage vows. Adnan's hypocrisy made the betrayal worse. He wanted devotion, obedience, and sacrifices from everyone, but he gave none in return. He expected Tigerlily to change her life to meet his ideals, while breaking the rules he claimed to follow. This double life wasn't just about cheating. It showed a pattern of control and entitlement. Adnan thought rules didn't apply to him, and that belief would soon ruin everything he tried to control. By the time Tigerlily started realizing the truth, the damage was done. The marriage wasn't just bad, it was full of lies. And the next chapter would show how public the humiliation would get. Adnan couldn't hide his behavior for long. He would even show it on camera. Drama is what makes reality TV work, but what happened on the TLC set went too far for any camera edit to fix. The animosity between Adnan and Tigerlily was obvious. Filming resumed, and the crew noticed immediately. Conversations were cold. Eye contact was avoided. The love that once defined them on screen was gone. Then came the moment no one expected. Adnan embarrassed Tigerlily in front of producers, crew, and cast members during a normal shot. What began as a quarrel quickly turned into public criticism. He mocked her beliefs, questioned her behavior, and spoke in a way that shocked everyone. Tigerlily stayed silent. This wasn't a private fight. It was public humiliation, captured by cameras and microphones. Adnan spoke loudly, acting as if the set was an extension of his control. Crew members later said the atmosphere was uncomfortable and unsettling. Some expected production to intervene, but filming continued. Tigerlily was hurt more by the shame than the betrayal. She realized Adnan no longer cared about appearances, her feelings, the marriage, or even himself. The man who demanded respect didn't hesitate to strip her dignity in front of strangers. Afterward, Tigerlily reportedly became quiet and emotionally withdrawn. She showed no outbursts, only defeat, as if she had accepted the life she was living. Adnan, on the other hand, felt no remorse. Sources said he called the incident a necessary correction and believed what he did was right. Authority mattered more than empathy, and control mattered more than partnership. The TLC set, once a place for storytelling, had become a place of real emotional trauma. While viewers saw only an edited version, the raw truth was far darker. This moment marked a turning point. Tigerlily no longer believed the marriage could be saved. The humiliation was public. The abuse was no longer hidden. Soon, the pressure intensified, moving from controlling her actions to controlling her identity. Behind closed doors, Adnan's behavior became more intense, personal, and invasive. The public humiliation was followed by private pressure, targeting not just Tigerlily's actions, but her identity. Adnan insisted she convert to Islam. At first, it seemed like a suggestion about unity and tradition, but when Tigerlily hesitated, it escalated into threats. Saying no became rude, and asking questions was rebellion. He made it clear that emotional safety in the marriage depended on her compliance. For Tigerlily, faith had always been personal. Adnan weaponized it, insisting she couldn't truly be his wife unless she changed. The pressure wasn't always loud, it was quiet, constant, and damaging. Repeated reminders, emotional withdrawal, and cold silences eroded her sense of self. Over time, Tigerlily began to believe her value depended on abandoning parts of herself. People close to her said she became anxious, sleepless, and constantly doubting herself. The woman who once believed love could conquer anything now felt trapped by demands she never agreed to. Adnan, meanwhile, justified his actions, claiming the pressure was necessary, a form of leadership. He said resistance proved she wasn't committed. This was no longer about faith. It was about power. He wasn't asking her to believe. He was insisting she obey. Every refusal made him angrier. Tigerlily didn't yet know this stress was a cover-up. Adnan was hiding something far worse that would eventually end the marriage and cost $250,000. At first, his issues seemed emotional: anger, control, and ego. But underneath, a more dangerous problem was growing. It started with unexplained gaps in the budget. Money disappeared without reason. Credit cards maxed out faster than expected. When Tigerlily asked, Adnan blamed business expenses or cash flow, but those excuses were false. He had become addicted to online gambling. What started casually became an obsession. Late nights weren't for work. They were for betting. Wins boosted confidence. Losses bred desperation. He believed he could beat the system, recover losses, and stay unscathed. But the debt grew. Thousands became tens of thousands. Eventually, Adnan owed almost $250,000. Worst of all, Tigerlily had no idea. She kept managing the household, thinking their finances were fine, unaware of collection notices, creditors, and Adnan's escalating anger fueled by fear, not confidence. As pressure grew, Adnan's behavior worsened. Arguments became sharper. Control intensified. Every conversation carried tension. Tigerlily thought she was angry, but she was scared of exposure and consequences, forced to lie instead of telling the truth. Adnan borrowed money secretly, juggled accounts, and broke promises. Each lie gave him time, but the trap tightened. Gambling destroyed honesty, empathy, and accountability. He was in survival mode, willing to sacrifice his marriage to protect himself. Then came the moment Tigerlily never expected. Adnan suddenly stopped demanding, stopped pressuring, and asked for help. The tone of his demands shifted. The intense control over conversion, over her emotions, changed abruptly, leaving a new, unsettling uncertainty at first. Tigerlily didn't understand why Adnan's behavior had changed. The constant demands and public humiliation had lessened, but the tension never disappeared. Behind the brief calm was a different kind of pressure, subtle, quiet, but just as controlling. Every word she said was scrutinized, every choice analyzed. She started walking on eggshells, unsure which version of him she would face on any given day. The private pressure wasn't just emotional. Adnan began to dictate aspects of her identity. He wanted her to adopt behaviors, beliefs, and even routines that fit his expectations. It wasn't about compromise or partnership anymore. It was about complete submission. Every time Tigerlily tried to assert herself, he used subtle manipulations, guilt, and even silence to make her doubt her own instincts. At the same time, the financial strain from Adnan's gambling became impossible to ignore. The bills were piling up, and Tigerlily had been unaware of the mounting debt for months. She had managed the home assuming everything was fine. Collection notices, unpaid accounts, and creditors calling. All of it was hidden from her. Adnan's anger and controlling behavior were fueled by desperation, but Tigerlily had no idea why he was always tense, always aggressive. She just knew she was walking on eggshells, terrified that any misstep would lead to another public or private confrontation. Adnan's gambling wasn't casual. It had become an obsession that affected every aspect of his life. Late nights were no longer spent on work, but on betting. Wins gave temporary relief, but losses made him reckless. Each bet required secrecy, manipulation, and lies. He juggled accounts, hid statements, and avoided questions from Tigerlily. Every time she asked about money, she was told not to worry, that everything was under control. Meanwhile, the debt grew closer to $250,000. Tigerlily's anxiety and stress increased as she tried to hold the household together, while Adnan's behavior spiraled. She lost sleep, constantly second-guessed herself, and questioned whether she was capable of handling the mounting crises. The woman who once believed in love, in compromise, and in the power of honesty, now felt trapped and powerless. She began to doubt not only herself but the marriage itself. At the same time, Adnan maintained the public image of a devoted husband. On camera, he was charming, attentive, and passionate, the picture-perfect reality TV spouse. Off camera, he lived a completely different life. He had other relationships, hid massive debt, and controlled Tigerlily's thoughts and actions. The double life wasn't sustainable, but for months, he managed to keep the illusion alive. The turning point came when the truth became impossible to hide. The lies, secrets, and hidden relationships began to surface. Friends, colleagues, and even strangers started noticing patterns. They shared pictures, recounted sightings, and slowly, the pieces lined up. Adnan wasn't just cheating. He was living a life entirely separate from the one Tigerlily knew. Every lie, every secret, and every gamble created a web that threatened to collapse on him. When the truth began to emerge, Tigerlily finally understood the extent of the betrayal. She realized the humiliation, the control, and the manipulation weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a larger pattern. The public humiliation on the TLC set was only a glimpse. Behind closed doors, her marriage had been a battlefield for months, with Adnan controlling everything from her decisions to her identity. The pressure to convert to Islam became one of the most invasive examples. What had started as discussions about unity and tradition escalated into threats and emotional manipulation. Adnan made it clear that emotional safety, approval, and even peace in the marriage depended on her compliance. Tigerlily, who had always valued personal choice in matters of faith, felt trapped. She couldn't reconcile her beliefs with his demands, and each conversation left her more isolated and anxious. Adnan framed his demands as leadership, claiming he knew what was best, and that resistance was proof of disloyalty. But it wasn't leadership, it was control. He wasn't seeking unity or understanding. He was imposing his will and punishing her for refusing. Each refusal to comply brought anger, cold silences, and subtle psychological pressure that eroded her confidence. Meanwhile, the financial crisis worsened. Tigerlily had been completely unaware of the true state of their finances. Adnan's online gambling had spiraled into a massive debt that threatened their home and security. She discovered that thousands had disappeared from accounts, credit cards were maxed out, and creditors were closing in. By the time she understood, the damage was already done. She had been maintaining the household, paying bills, and handling daily responsibilities without any knowledge of the mounting crisis. The combination of financial strain, public humiliation, and private manipulation pushed Tigerlily to her limits. She became quiet, withdrawn, and emotionally exhausted. Friends and family reported that she appeared defeated, almost resigned to the life she was living. Every day brought new stress, uncertainty, and fear. She didn't argue anymore. She survived each day by staying silent and trying to anticipate Adnan's mood. Adnan, on the other hand, continued to act as if nothing was wrong. He justified his gambling, his control, and his manipulation as necessary. Every act of pressure, every humiliation, and every lie was rationalized in his mind as leadership, correction, or a test of loyalty. Empathy, honesty, and partnership were secondary to his need for control and authority. The marriage that had started with love, chemistry, and cultural fascination had been completely eroded. By the time Tigerlily realized the depth of Adnan's deception, it was too late to return to the life she had once envisioned. The public facade, the private manipulation, and the financial disaster had created a reality that no counseling, compromise, or negotiation could fix. Every revelation, from the gambling addiction to the hidden girlfriends and public humiliations, made the stakes higher. The marriage was no longer a partnership, it was a survival situation. Tigerlily had to navigate daily life under constant scrutiny, emotional manipulation, and fear of exposure. The person she had married, the man she believed in, was gone, replaced by someone who prioritized control, secrecy, and self-interest above everything else. In the end, the story of Adnan Abdulatta and Tigerlily Taylor is not just about cheating or conflict. It's about deception, manipulation, and the slow erosion of trust, love, and identity. It's about the toll that emotional abuse, financial recklessness, and control can take on a person. Tigerlily's experience shows how quickly a relationship can transform from passion and devotion into fear and survival. By the time the truth was revealed, the marriage was beyond repair. The financial debt, public humiliation, and private manipulation left Tigerlily with difficult choices. She had to rebuild her life from scratch, reassess her values, and find a sense of safety and independence that had been stripped from her. The 90-day Fiancé cameras captured a version of the story, but what happened behind the scenes was far more complex and painful. Tigerlily endured betrayal, manipulation, and financial ruin, yet she survived. Her story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of deception, control, and hidden lives, and about the courage required to confront the truth and reclaim one's life. This is a story of love lost, trust broken, and lives disrupted by secrets and lies. It's a story that reminds us that appearances can be deceiving, that reality TV often hides far more than it reveals, and that surviving manipulation and betrayal requires strength, resilience, and the courage to face the truth.